Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about a $50 IEM. It's called KEFINE Clean. So this is like a little brother for the Delchi or Delchi AE. I don't know if there's difference between the two, but this IEM has been really popular recently, especially in the IEM subreddit. I think it's the number one recommendation around $50 range. So I bought one. The main reason, it looks cool. So that's why I bought one. So this is the box. I would say this unboxing experience is really unique. If it's like you're opening a book, like that's so sick. Like it's so cool. You have your book cover and the book. But it's just so cool. I don't know why, but I feel like a child opening this when I first got it. Like I felt so giddy. So unfortunately, the unboxing experience is really good, but I feel like what you get in the box is not that great. So these three sets of ear tips, I feel like they're not good, but it's 40 bucks. So I would recommend getting aftermarket ear tips. These are not that great. These are just, whatever kind of ear tips. They're generic kind. So this is the case. It feels fine, but it's too thin. It's like a thin Oreo. So the problem with the case is that it kind of smushes your REM. So if you like keep doing this every time, it kind of damages your cable, and just your cables just go bad. It just becomes unusable. So I want to recommend using this, and especially because these are fully metal, I would recommend the taller case so that you could put a silica gel on it, so that these IM wouldn't oxidize. Apparently these are prone to oxidizing. That's one thing that I've seen on the internet. Like, so what oxidizing is, the tip part will has like a green kind of slime on it, or like green thingy color, and you want to prevent that. To prevent that, you have to use a silica gel. So that's a one tip. I wouldn't use the case. I would just buy a different case and put a silica gel. It's more convenient because you can put the nozzle here, and you can just keep bringing it for, like, a little bit taller. If this was a little bit taller, it would have been perfect, but it's not. And lastly, the paper, for some reason, it kind of reminds me of KZ, but I don't know. Maybe it's the key find the K, but yeah, that's the papers. Okay, I want to talk about the nozzle before I forget it again. So these are the default nozzles. So if you use the default nozzles, it will make the IM sound more balanced. But the one that's included in the box, the black nozzle, makes the IM a little bit more spicier in the upper, mids, and treble. So if you're kind of treble sensitive, don't use the black one. It makes everything more spicier in that upper area. So, but if you don't care about it, I would just recommend use the white one because it's the most balanced out of the two nozzles. So that's the nozzles. So in terms of cable, I really like them. So these behave really well. Like, it's just so cool. Also good looking too, by the way. It's a silver grayish looking. It's like a snow color. But in terms of quality, I think it's like a softer version of EW200. So they're really good at the price. Like, I really love the cables, even though the accessories on the IEM itself is not that good. But I think the IEM and the cable are good quality. So that's like, I don't have problem with these. I'm really satisfied. So this is the look of the IEM, and I would say these are really good looking IEMs. For $50 range, I think these are the most beautiful ones. Even at the $100 range, I feel like these are really beautiful. And the reason I bought these is that it looks really good for the outside. It doesn't look that, really shiny, I guess, or like distracting, because it's just a slick black color. Like, it just looks good. So based on the looks, I really like this. Like, 10 out of 10. So in terms of comfort, these are like one of my most comfortable sets. Like, they just fit perfectly to my ears. I would give this, I think Bunny is the most comfortable, and these are the next one. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. So, like, these are really comfortable to my ears. And I think they're smaller than the EW200. So yeah, these are a little bit smaller than EW200. So if you have a little bit fitting issue on the EW200, these are smaller. And are they less taller too. No, they're about the same, but they have a little bit different kind of ergonomic shape. But these are a little bit smaller, just tiny bit. Now let's talk about the sound. So I already put it on the thumbnail. These are B-shape done right, but that's a clickbait. In reality, these are more in U shape or like W shape, but it's done so good. It's just so fun to listen to these. So yeah, these are also really fun sets, but they are not accurate. These are not good for your, neutral stuff like hexa and whatnot. So that's like a rundown of it. Okay, let's talk about sound and let's start with the bass. And the bass on these are really good. Like they're really addicting good. They sound so fun, punchy, has good extension. Like but everything's elevated though. So these are really good for, like a taste of your bass head kind of IEM. But for me, these are too much. Like this is like my limit in terms of bass boost. So this kind of fulfill my itch for the bassy kind of itch that I have sometimes. Because bass is still fun. Like everyone likes bass. No matter what you do, everyone still likes their bass. So everyone gets their itch, and this fulfill my itch. So there's one thing to note: since these are bass boosted, the lower mids can get hidden or like resist. So if you don't like your lower mids getting kind of go in the back foot, then don't get a bass boosted one. Actually, if you really like bass boosted but you still want your lower mids to sound clean, get a planar IEM. Like planar IEM are really good at boosted bass, but still sounding clean. But I'm gonna talk about more of that in later. And for the mids, so the mids on these are tuned in an interesting way. So I'm gonna put it in the video. So these are like Harmon tuned, but they remove the peakiness of the Harmon. I guess it's similar to Reds. I'm just gonna put it in the video too, like together, so that I guess you could compare it. But yeah, I love the mids, upper mids on the Harmon, especially the 2019. But I don't like everything else. I don't like the Harmon bass, kind of the has too much rumble and less mid bass. But this is like Harmon that I like. So what this means, the female vocals are a little bit forward, but the male vocals are not recessed that much compared to the Reds that I last remember hearing it like a year ago. But yeah, the female vocals are a little bit forward. The male vocals are just in the right place. But there's one problem with the vocals though. I feel like the vocals has a little doesn't have the meatiness that I want. You cannot see it on the graph, but I feel like it just doesn't sound that full. I remember watching one guy. I'm gonna put in the video.
The vocals are not full, but they're correct. So it's not, his vocals are not as full as like Z Got Lush or Cadenza 4. Like those definitely the vocals sounded more full on that.
So like he said in the video, I kind of agree with what he said. It just needed a little bit more like a meatiness, so it will feel more full sounding for the vocals. But yeah, that's the vocals. So for the instrument, the upper mids area, like hi-hats and guitar, they're really addicting. If you really like those, man, these are really fun to listen to that. Are they accurate though? They're really not accurate. But they're really like emphasized, like you just feel the energy, liveliness of those instruments. But like I said earlier, the lower like mids area of the instruments, like like a small toms or stuff, something, they kind of get hidden by the mid bass. So if your library is full of like lower mids kind of instrument sounding and stuff, I don't know how to explain it, but it just gets hidden. So I wouldn't recommend that. But guitars and hi hats, dude, these are really good for that. Next for the treble. So the treble on these are well pronounced and also can sound metallic. But in my opinion, they're not a negative because of the elevated bass. So you get like a contrasting sound of the boominess of the bass and punchiness of it. Then the treble comes in with the cling clang sounding metallic sound and kind of complements it really well. I'm really impressed with that. Like I thought I would hate the metallic sounding of it, but it's not. It kind of complements it. So, like I said earlier, it's not good for recording or mixing because it just here to have fun. So the last part of treble, the sibilance. So on normal listening, it has a mild sibilance. So you can still hear the sibilance. But the moment you listen to like a higher volume, like a 1 or 2, the normal, these are unbearable in terms of sibilance, especially the black nozzle. So if you're like a loud listening kind of person, I would avoid this because it's really sibilant. Like it's in a painful way of sibilance. It's like unbearable. So if you're treble sensitive or like sibilant sensitive, I wouldn't recommend these, even though they sound so fun to listen. It's kind of shame if you cannot handle the spiciness of this one. But yeah, higher volume, they're really sibilant. So be careful on that. And lastly, the soundstage. Usually I don't talk about the soundstage, but I noticed on these sets, yeah, it has an intimate sound. It actually reminds me of HD 600 or 650. So if you know what those kind of sound, it sounds intimate, but it still have good imaging. So it's still you still get a easy way to like pinpoint where the sound comes from, but the sound is so intimate. And I think I realized what makes it sound so intimate on this IEM. It's the vocals. I think the vocals is just too in your face. So I guess that's also one ways that makes it really sound fun. But yeah, that's the one thing I noticed on this. Even though on other IEMs I don't care about soundstage, it just sounds average. But this one, it really sounds intimate. Let's compare with the old guard. So this is SimGod AW200, and yeah, this is the clean. So in terms of accessories, I think clean has better because it has case, and I don't think this one has case. And in terms of cable, I think this has better quality, but this one looks so much better. So it's like a preference at this point. I feel like this has better quality, just a tiny bit, tiny bit. And for the sound, so these are your like more fun U-shape, unbalanced kind of sound, and EW200 is show more spacious, balanced, bright as fuck. Like these are really bright, so they're really fatiguing. So I would rather use this more. But in terms of sibilance though, these are just more sibilant at higher volume, and at lower volume, these are like equal, but it's just that this has a weird issue on the higher volume for me to my ear. So it's like so it's like if you want fun sounding IEM, you would go for the clean, and if you want a bright, balanced sounding, has more soundstage, I would go for the EW200. So these are still good. I like listening to these, but they're really fatiguing. Now for the last comparison, this is RT Titan. Technically these are 70, but most of the time you can get it at 50. If you can get them at 50, then these are really great value. I would say these are the best planar below 100 if you get it at 50 even. At 70, they're still competitive at that. So that's the thing. But at $50, so these are close to each other. So we're gonna be comparing it. In terms of accessories, RT just wins because they're more expensive in the first place. But the cables on these are so much better. Like it has that less sure kind of cable feel since their parent company is Lecturer. So yeah, they have good cable, decent case, even though it's a little bit small, but the case is still good, and the ear tips are same. But I think these get more ear tips. Yeah, I think you get two sets of ear tips, narrow and a wide bore. So in terms of accessories, these just wins. But the biggest problem in terms of comfort, these sucks. These used to be my favorite. I still like listening to these, but these are painful. The reason why, it's the flap. It's this thing. It's this the white thing makes the IEM really uncomfortable, and after a hour or two, the, it just makes my ear really painful. So I barely use this IEM anymore, even though I like the sound on these. I like the sound on these. So that's the biggest problem on these. It's the comfort. Like they're really not that good. So now for the sound. So both of these are like U shape or W shape IEM, but there's a huge asterisk on this. So on lower volumes, these sounds B shape. So if you're lower volume listener, these sounds B shape on lower volumes. For some reason, to my ears, when I listen to a higher volume, these sounds the vocals becomes more lively. It has more energy. It just becomes more pronounced. That's my experience on listening to these. So that's a weird thing about this. So between these two, it's really hard to recommend which one because they have their upsides and downsides. This is a single DD and this is a planar. So the biggest difference between the two is the decay on the bass. The planar has no decay, it's just clean. So no matter how many energy you put on the bass on these, the lower mid still sounds clean, but it's warm. It's a weird thing. So that's why I really like planar. Like no matter how many energy you put on the planar IEM or on the bass side, it just still comes out clean. Like it's just clean and lean. But on the other side, you have the DD. The difference with the DD is the decay, the rumbliness, or the decay of the sound. That's what makes this IEM really fun sound, and these sound really more balanced because of the clean decay. So I would recommend the KEFINE Clean if you really like a fun, just really fun sounding IEM. I would get this. And if you want a little bit more balanced but bassy kind of IEM, I would get the RTT10, especially at 50. So yeah, like, but they they don't like compete to each other because these has no competition genuinely. Like even though they have a turbo fit, it's just that they're so unique. They're the best planar that sounds planar around below 100 US dollar. So yeah, these are really good. Like these fulfill my itch when I just want to have fun. Like I just want that bassy, boomy punchiness. This fulfills that. Because usually my IEMs are on the bassline side. So sometimes you just want a fun set. So these kind of fulfill that. But the problem is that these are not accurate. So that's one thing. Like I said earlier, these are really not good for accurate. You use these just to have fun, jam on the music. And also these are really good for outside use, not gonna lie. Like they look really slick. Like it's black, it's small, not distracting. So yeah, I might use this for outside use, like when I wanna ride on a train for like few hours. And they're also kind of good because of their sound, because they're fun sounding IEM, so you can get distracted more, I guess. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing for you, but for me it's a good thing because I can enjoy the music more while I'm outside while focusing to the other stuff. Like it just sounds fun without trying. I think that's a good thing for outside use. That's just my opinion though. And that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe and see you guys on the next video, guys. Bye bye.